the New Indian Express Online. I'm Batsikadappa. With me is political analyst Mr. B.S. Murthy. We're going to be talking about the Karnataka election results 2023. Now, Mr. Murthy, as you look at the polls, as we look at the results, the big lesson from these results that we can see, is it the irrelevance of the JDS? Is it that JDS is now staring at irrelevance? Is it staring at annihilation? Because this party which had, this party split. We saw the Janta splitting into Janta Dal S and Janta Dal U in 99, which is what gave Congress a huge, encouraging number in 99. Now this party is staring at virtual irrelevance because the number of seats has dropped to perhaps its historical low, even lower than 2008.
The primary takeaway of this election, the story is the JDS vote share coming down. Mm-hmm. Congress vote share went up from 38 to 43. Mm-hmm. BJP retained its vote share more or less. Mm-hmm. One party which lost the vote share to the extent of about 5% or 5.5% was JDS. Mm-hmm. Who got the vote? Mm-hmm. Looks like Congress got the vote. Yeah. BJP somehow managed to retain vote, although it lost some votes in North Karnataka. It was able to regain some votes in Old Mysore. Yes. So any party, electorally speaking, comes below 15% is basically looking at irrelevance. That necessarily means that you are a fringe player in one of the regions of the state, not the states in entirety. Surprising factor is JDS this time lost its core seats, which they never lost in the last about 20 years.
Like for example?
For example, I would say Nikhil Kumaraswamy. That was a seat which has been with the party since more or less since 1994.
Even last year, Kumaraswamy's wife contested and won.
Kumaraswamy won twice, except for one by-election. Ramnagaram has been a part and parcel of the party. And surprisingly also, if you look at it, the Vokkaliga community in that constituency is over 1 lakh votes. Mm-hmm. So the real story here is that starting from the Bangalore rural to the entire Mysore, the party has seen irreparable vote loss and very unlikely that the votes are going to come back. Mm-hmm. A big chunk of it was taken away, moved to Congress, another chunk has moved to BJP. Mm-hmm. And anything below that, party is basically staring at irrelevance in future.
Also, if you look at Ramnagaram, this is a place which is looked after Kumaraswamy as a candidate. It has looked after Kumaraswamy's wife, Anita Kumaraswamy, when she moved from Madhugiri to Ramnagaram. So it has given her victories. So why would you think this constituency, where Vokkaligas are there in such large numbers, they have rejected Nikhil? And this is the second time Nikhil is getting rejected by the voters. The first time he got rejected in Mandya.
Ramnagaram has a very special connection to JDS. The first Vokkaliga Chief Minister, Hanmantaya, Kengal Hanmantaya, contested and won from Ramnagara that way. And Sri Devegoda re-emergence from the Janata Parivar from after 89 defeat happened via Ramnagara route, and the party stayed with the Ramnagara part. And looking at it, the Mandya by-election did not go well. The Lok Sabha election did not go well for Nikhil Kumaraswamy. And although the father was the chief minister, he had the entire support. He had an alliance with Congress then. That was the beginning. Basically, I feel that the loss of votes for JDS was the citadel was beginning to crumble in the last about 2-3 years. The results are here to see. JDS virtually had all the 7 out of 7 seats. They had all the Jilla Panchayat, they had all the Patna Panchayat, they had all the Gram Panchayats, everything. It was a virtuous sweep of the entire ecosystem of Mandya. Today they've just won in one constituency. And the 6 have gone to the opposition. Five for Congress and 1 Congress supported. This was unthinkable about a month back. So I think the voter has spoken. The party is going towards irrelevance.
Also, H.D. Revanna, the big, most powerful man after H.D. Kumaraswamy, he won by such a small margin. It's extremely shocking that he's...
Since 1989, H.D. Revanna has lost only once. And then after that, he has never looked back. And usually the margins are anywhere from 30 to 60,000 votes. This time, a young lad basically has given such a tough fight. The margin of HD Ravana has just come to 2,700 votes.
And this is the delimited constituency,
The delimited,
of which Mr. Devegowda himself is one of the.
it was basically carved out to favor JDS
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
2008. Most of these constituencies in Mandya, Hassan, Tumkur, Bengaluru rural, Mysore was carved out. Basically, it had a huge geographical advantage for JDS. Looks like even that citadel has crumbled now.
Also, these turncoats, many of them who switched sides lost, like Dr. Sudhakar, who switched from the Congress, lost. MC Narayan Gowda, who moved from JDS to BJP, lost. MTB Nagaraj, who moved from Congress to BJP, lost. BC Patil, and many others. So, Kumtalli, Mahesh Kumtalli, the man who moved with Ramesh Jarkioli, while Ramesh Jarkioli won, Kumtalli lost.
So I think the only people, the turncoats who won were people who contested in Bangalore, where they were relatively safer, like Gopalaya or Muniratna, S.T. Somshekhar and Bhairati Basuraj. So they had relatively safer seats to go by. Anybody outside that, it was only Ramesh who won. Most of the others lost. I think the anger was more visible in the rural and the northern part of Karnataka against the ministers than that. But the loss of Sudhakar was unthinkable that way. The variable in the form of a young lad called Pradeep Ishwar, I think set the tone. It was a very unique election, very innovative election. I think that's a template which a lot more people are going to follow in the days to come.
Pradeep Ishwar had just 15 lakh in his account.
That's what he says. So virtually, I think here was a nobody, a good smart educationist, a good storyteller, and then took on possibly a number 2 man in Basaraj Bommai's cabinet.
Absolutely.
And virtually won. This was unthinkable by any standards. If you tell me 2 months back that this would happen, I would have not.
Nobody would have believed it. Also, JDS saying that we are not really irrelevant, because look at GT Devegowda, he is one. His son is one in Hunusur. Look at Nagangowda Kandukur, Gurmitkal. Even in spite of all the major allegations against B.S. Yediyurappa by his son Sharan Gowda, we've managed to win. So,
I think some of the seats JDS has won in North Karnataka. It could be Kandukur, or it could be Karemma, it could be a few others. More individual seats.
Individual achievements rather
than a party having a base of voters there. These are more individuals who have possibly not been aligned with BJP or a Congress and has been able to secure tickets. JDS has been able to provide them resources. That way I think it's more to do with this, and rather than the party doing it across. So this is what makes the JDS irrelevance more, because I think in their old traditional areas of old Mysore, they have lost the vote base. They never really had anything in the Kalyan Karnataka or Kittur Karnataka, except for sporadic 1 or 2 people here and there. That way.
Because JDS, one other thing is, when someone moved out of the JDS would make it difficult for him to survive in that ecosystem. And Mr. Kumaraswamy has said it time and again that all right, someone goes out, but the rank and file in that constituency is still with the JDS. So in the case of Gubbi Vasu, they couldn't retain Gubbi because, Mr. Srinivas.
Arsikere happened the same thing. Arsikere happened the same thing. And they had to get back A. Manju to fill the gap in Arkalgud. I think they struggled. I think it is no more relevant to say that, the party holds tight the cadre or the organization. It was anyway a loosely, aligned organization to start with. That way. I think now any of the stronger leaders who go out, they also carry the cadre with them.
Okay. Now also the scheduled tribes, now they account for about 15 of the seats in Karnataka Assembly. And the BJP was looking at winning all the 15 out of 15 because they increased their vote percentage by a good number. So, but what happened? The entire chunk went out of BJP.
Exactly. So, the basic story of scheduled tribes in Karnataka should have been something what BJP wanted. Since 2008, they had a majority of the seats. Absolutely. They had a frontline scheduled tribe leader in Ramulu. And this time they had also given more reservation, was also bumped up from about 4% to about 7%. Everything looked so good. But then when it hits the ground, they realized that it is nowhere. Out of 15 seats, BJP for the first time since 2008 has won 0 seats. 14 has gone to Congress and 1 has gone to JDS. This was again another big story of this election is a mass exodus of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes and your minorities and smaller castes out of BJP.
So also the other big untold story is the scheduled castes. Now a large chunk out of the scheduled caste seats, there are designated scheduled caste 36 seats
Yes.
in Karnataka, out of which a solid 21, more than half, go into the Congress. Because earlier the BJP tried to do this internal reservation, that was one complaint of the Congress against the BJP. But this time one solid chunk going to the Congress.
I think from policy perspective, BJP got that wrong. The internal reservation for the scheduled castes was something no chief minister ever tried to put their hand on it. This time BJP did it. Maybe the intent was good, but the way it turned out to be, the outcomes, this was unpredictable. They never knew that. They did that and they got hit. What was supposed to be something to beneficial to the party exactly became a reverse of that. They were not expecting this result.
Okay. So there it is. Big lessons in this election is JDS staring at annihilation. Number 2, STs going totally the Congress way. Number 3, scheduled castes, a big chunk of them supporting the Congress. Now all these are big lessons for us. What will happen in the coming days for the Congress? Who will become the chief minister? How soon will the cabinet come? All these are questions for us. With camera person Satya, this is Bansi for the New India.